How many terms can you think of that identify this picture to someone who can't see it? Cola, pop, soda, soda pop, fountain drink, carbonated beverage, soft drink, or maybe Coke? Did you know that if you ask a waitress for a Coke in the southern United States, she will respond by asking, "What kind?" In the South, a Coke means any dark carbonated beverage. In the Deep South, a Coke means any carbonated beverage. So a 7-Up is a Coke and a Pepsi is a Coke. Only asking for Coca-Cola indicates a preference in brand. Try this now. You've heard the term SIDS before, right? Do you know what that term means? You probably know that SIDS is an acronym for Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. But did you know that before the term Sudden Infant Death Syndrome was used, doctors used the terms cot death and crib death to indicate the same phenomena? And sometimes people outside the healthcare profession use the term sudden baby death instead of Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. So what's the point of all of this? The obvious answer here is that people use multiple terms to mean the same thing. Sometimes it's because there are generational differences. My grandfather would have walked to the drugstore to buy a beverage at the soda fountain, thus purchasing a fountain drink. Sometimes people who live in different geographical areas have different terms for the same idea. It was noted by a dictionary creator that one of the most striking dialect divisions in the U.S. is over the terms soda and pop. People who live in Maine and California are much more likely to use the term soda. People in North Dakota and South Dakota are much more likely to say pop. And people in Colorado? Well, of the 64 counties in Colorado, 4 counties like the term soda, 2 counties like the term Coke, and everyone else says pop. Sometimes people who work within a specific specialty have their own language. So a man who travels around testing soft drinks for quality control purposes might tell people he works in the carbonated beverage industry. Think about it. You're already learning the language of your specialty. You've probably learned what the auricle is, and that it's the outer part of the ear, and also sometimes called the pinna. Most other people don't know that, and if they hear you say oracle, they think you're talking about a person who is considered wise. That is, an oracle. So why is this important? Because if people use different terms to mean the same thing, and if you don't know all the terms that are used for one idea, how do you find all the books or articles on that topic? This is why libraries and library databases are so great. Not only do libraries and library databases house the written knowledge of mankind, librarians classify the knowledge of mankind. To classify in this case means to organize, sort, and label. So when a book comes into the library, someone looks at it and determines what the book is about. Let's say a book titled Crib Death, Sudden Unexplained Death of Infants, comes into the library. A librarian determines the main idea of this book is crib death. Not surprising. But then the librarian looks up in a book the subject heading and finds that the term libraries use to describe this idea is Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. What does this mean? If you are able to figure out the subject heading for the idea you are interested in, you will find all the books in the library on that topic.